knew we were onto something special when we looked to the world to cast this movie.
The cast is just so internationally renowned. They've cast people from so many different countries and who are basically huge stars in their own countries, but perhaps in America or in the Western world they aren't quite as well known. So it's been really fun just working with so many different people from so many different cultures being represented. It's great.
There's literally somebody from every part of the planet. And so together we bring something very unique and very different.
If it ain't on video.
All of Fame shit right here, bro.
When we thought about coming back and bringing Xander Cage back, you know, one of the an American coming in and saving the world. It was really important for him that it wasn't just Xander Cage, it was the XXX program, this multicultural global group. Not only one XXX team, but two. So it truly is this global team that is working together.
There's one team in the onset of the movie, and there's another team that's formed throughout the movie.
That's what Gibbons would have wanted.
The first team is there because of how many great times they've had with Xander.
When I first met with Vin, I told him the thing I loved about Xander was like, I get to see you smile, I get to see you have fun. And I think for me that would be really important to bring that out.
Stay focused. Coming from New York and doing crazy extreme sports stuff before extreme sports existed in New York, that was so fun and so liberating.
He's like a big kid. He has this really warm, charming personality about him. And he's just what's the market out there. He's really in tune of what kind of film he wants to make.
What Vin brings to the table, I think that's there for everyone to see in the movie. I mean, I can't think of Xander Cage if it wasn't for Vin Diesel.
Gong Bei.
Gonna be.
Vin knows who he is. He knows a tremendous amount about his audience and what they're going to expect. And there's something about him in this film that he's always inviting his friends, his audience along for the ride.
I think the thing that separates Vin from anybody else I've worked with is he is voracious in his creative appetite. He doesn't stop trying to make something great. It's all about how do I make this special and how do I deliver for the fans. And those aren't just lives by.
The passion that Vin Diesel brings to this project is palpable. I mean, he's not just here to show up, to come in and be a star. He truly is involved in every aspect of what we're doing and is very, very passionate about this particular franchise.
Vin is a force. Xander is a force. They're kind of one and the same in so many ways. But I feel like it's been so nice that he has this group, this motley crew of hand-picked people that he gets to set up his team with.
Xander Cage, back in action.
Did I ever leave?
Xander Cage's team, what was interesting and what came out of our story conference was you've seen so many movies where we have to assemble our team, we have to put together all these people, and then we thought, well, if Xander's gonna have to assemble a team, once he dismisses the team that Toni Collette wants to assign to him, basically what we said, like, let's find these individuals that are, who would Xander be hanging out with? Like, let's celebrate the individualism of these characters.
The good, the bad, the extreme, and the completely insane.
Ruby, who I had read for another project a couple years back, is just such a unique individual. She's beautiful, she's tough, she's feminine, she's masculine. She just embodied everything.
We have Adele, who's kind of this sniper, and we meet her, and from her we kind of built this relationship that she has with Xander.
You know, no one has his number.
So what are you up to these days?
Me? I'm evening the odds.
One of the most fun scenes that I got to write is this idea of a sniper kind of out in the Serengeti, and it looks at first like she's hunting a lion, but then it turns out that she's hunting the poachers.
When I read that in the first couple pages of the script, I just fell in love. I was like, I have to play this character.
Made to her, I had her out in the range maybe 6 hours to being a great sniper, and she is. I mean, she was like, you know, for 1,000 yards away, putting bullets through playing cards. She just became, you know, not so much obsessed like I'm gonna be the best sniper ever, but she just wanted everything that she did with the gun to be
refreshing. You actually know what you're doing down there.
Yeah, that's what she said.
What I love is that none of these people have superpowers, but they have this superhero aspect. You know, like my character can climb up a tree, but that's something that is physically possible with this silk rope. Not everyone can do it, but if you train hard enough, you can. And it's something unique and special about them, but it's not otherworldly.
Somebody's gonna turn up tonight!
This is my first time to be in a Hollywood movie, and everything's new to me. I always wanted to participate in some sort of like real big action movie, to actually do it, to experience it.
Nix, the Chris Wu character, he was always the guy from the very beginning. He's just fun to have around. Like, what specialty is he? Is he a brawler? Is he a sniper? Is he a thief? Like, no, he's just fun to have around. That's kind of who Xander would bring along.
I'm like that comedy type of guy in the action movie here.
Are NSA extraction teams normally armed like they invading Fallujah?
No, generally not.
It'll be really big action on the side, and then you'll have Nix here, kind of like fooling around, doesn't know what's happening, but you know, it's always fun to have that kind of guy in an action movie when everything's so intense.
Chris Wu is a huge following in his home country. Sitting on the streets of Toronto, there was maybe 1,000 young girls out there screaming for Chris Wu, and that's when I realized, wow, this is an international star, unbeknownst to me, and he brought a really fun, grounded, really cool quality to Nix.
I've got a plan! No!
Tennyson is kind of like the quintessential getaway driver, and we kind of played around with it. You know, I feel like I've seen the getaway driver that's really fast and smooth.
Hold on! Ain't no goddamn plan!
And so I kind of wanted to invert it and make it a guy he's a getaway driver because he just doesn't care of crashing. And he has no problems running into things and running people off the road, and I thought that was kind of like a unique version of your quintessential getaway driver.
I'm the driver. Tennyson Torch, he's an ex-stuntman. He's been hit in the head a bit too much. He's slightly crazy, bit of a conspiracy theorist.
Can you tell me the real reason behind the crash of Pan Am Flight 103 over in Lockerbie?
Yes.
There's an intelligence with him, but he's a big dafty. But he's good in a crisis.
When you get Rory McCann, you know, and you get Tennyson, and you bring Tennyson in, who's the stunt driver who's crashed 198 times, you know, probably hit his head too many times, so he has too many concussions, but who's just this loyal bulldog who goes forward.
When you're asked to be the boat driver in the Triple X team, you don't turn it down.
I said stay on the boat.
You just brought that group together and felt like such a contrast to Donnie Yen's group, Zhang's, which was a little more refined and elegant, and Xander's is just sort of this cool hodgepodge of true individuals who are just celebrating who they are.
I'm not a soldier, I'm a baller.
Do we look like soldiers?
Oh, hell no.
It felt like a really dynamic combination.
The promise of the movie is that Xander Cage is going to go up against people that he shouldn't be going up against. And we know Xander Cage, we've seen him fight his... And so it was really about, okay, who could actually challenge this guy? Not just physically, but also mentally.
Spotted our clown.
When you put together what we'd call Zhang's team, his Triple X team, when you start with Donnie Yen.
When the producers came to me and asked me to be in the film, besides wanting to show my range of performance as an actor, I also want to represent a Chinese actor as far as having fun and looking cool.
Donnie Yen is a true legend in the martial arts world and the martial art movie scene. The things that he does, he just makes them seem effortless. You know, he really does, and he moves with such precision. It's just a pleasure to watch.
I was really excited when they invited me. I said, you know, this is the role that I always wanted to do, you know, just to show them, particularly outside of Asia, outside of China, that I'm not just the martial arts. It's always very serious and deadly. He's deadly in this film, but he's fun to be with.
To me, Donnie was this really poised, you know, he's a combination of all these different things, but for me, he's such a fine actor. And I don't think I've ever seen anyone so uniquely fast as Donnie in his fights and the way that his combinations of his kicks and all that aspect. So I thought if you take this dynamic personality, and also Donnie has a real serious center. You know, he really is really grounded, very serious. He can have a lot of fun, but he's more of the serious thing. And so thinking he's going to be a foe of Xander at first, I thought what a great maybe initial adversarial relationship these two can have. As far as the audience experience goes, and face off, and they do in a way, but as it evolves, you realize that they're going to be on the same team.
We're all Triple X. We just have different agendas.
So when you lead with Donnie and then you add Deepika and make her an equal to Xander in a way, so that when they face off, it's the female equivalent.
1 grenade, 3 people. I like the odds.
Deepika Padukone is not only beloved because of her on-screen presence, but she's really loved because she's a grounded actress who really is accessible to her fan base.
I think for a very long time, my fans have also, you know, there's and I thought that this was the right opportunity for me. And I just wanted to be on a film set where I could just unleash and have fun and play with some guns and, you know, have fun with everyone.
I had seen an audition that she had done with Vin for one of the Fast movies a couple years back when I was looking at her for something else. So I remembered her and called Vin and said, how about Deepika? And he was like, I ever had with somebody in chemistry-wise.
I had wanted to work with her for a while. There was a point which I was actually this close to casting her in Fast and Furious, and then she had some other obligation and it didn't work out. And I remember while we were filming this movie, she would often say, thank God that didn't work out.
Was the fact that she's strong and then she can stand up for herself and she can be a part of a team when she needs to be, she can be independent when she needs to be, and fun.
She's just so like incredibly graceful, really strong, has a great dramatic flair, and the training that she put herself through for the physicality of what Serena Unger should make this commitment to us was exciting. And then along the way, you have Tony Jaa, who's from the Ong Bak films. You just kind of go nuts over Tony Jaa, who, when you see him in cinema and the Chinese and the Thai films, he's a very serious, grounded guy. But when you meet Tony Jaa in person, he's just this beautiful sort of clown who just loves to make you laugh and is always the center of spiritual and peace.
Okay, let's go.
I really love this character. You know, I had never done before. Does it look cool? When I on set, when I on costume, I tell DJ, the director, what do you think about the hair? You want to mohawk? Let me try. And I show some move, Thai boxing and dance, like Michael Jackson. That's talent. That's your character. In the movie, you can put dance, you can action, you can fight.
Let's really show the true side of Tony Jaa, a guy who can dance and do Michael Jackson steps and do all that. His fans aren't even used to seeing Tony Jaa do that. You then add Michael Bisping, or UFC fighter.
Hawk is a gun for hire, highly trained in martial arts and weaponry and ex-special forces. I like to think of him as ex-SAS, you know, being British, of course.
Have fun. Bisping, who's just such a strong, fun, crazy guy.
Oh, sorry, yeah.
Bisping does this great fighting, you know, bare knuckle fighting.
What the hell you think you're doing? Yeah, baby! My background is as a professional fighter in the UFC, and this is definitely the type of thing that I'm suited to. So when the opportunity came out to try out for the role, I was delighted.
You fight me with a book. So what?
I'm a young boy at heart, you know, explosion stuff, you know, I enjoy it.
I can't believe this shit. I play a woman called Jane Mark, who's very patriotic, very loyal, very hardworking, and a very big manipulator. She basically employs Xander Cage to help save the world.
Your country needs you, Mr. Cage. It's time to be a patriot.
For Toni Collette, it was fun to kind of join and to play in one of these films where she's not, you know, she said, look, I'm not crying, I don't have cancer. You know, she's like, I'm just going to come in here and have fun, and I want to do something really fun with Jane Mark.
Are you okay?
So great.
So great. All right, focusing there, you're looking ahead.
So when I met Tony here in Los Angeles, we had a great conversation. I know she's just such an incredible actress and has such range. And then we put together who we thought Jane Mark was. It's such a blessing because Tony is just one of those actresses where you literally take one, take two, can just move on.
It was quite simply a lot of fun. To be honest, I didn't have to cry or really emote. I just get to be there and have the time of my life. That was it.
Do you really need all these gadgets to get the bad guys?
Oh, we don't need any of it. But it makes the couching a hell of a lot more fun.
Xander Cage. I've always wanted to be in an action movie. It's been a dream of mine. Geeky tech girl who invents all the gadgets, and she's super smart and has no filter. Wow. Are you kidding me with those guns? You're like the freaking Terminator.
I think the great thing about Nina for me was her personality. And she's a lot of fun, and to bring that into Becky and to see all this technology and have her be the one that kind of gives everyone what they do, but also being and a little bit dangerous and someone who wants to maybe go out in the field but hasn't. And Nina was just like, to me, I can't imagine having anyone else play Becky but her.
Oh my God, this is fucking awesome! Although unfortunately I'm not the most kick-ass action character comparatively to the other ones, I don't know, I just was really excited about getting and be the having Ice Cube be a surprise element to this franchise. We're really bringing all the XXX movies together into one and starting a super team for the future franchise, hopefully.
I think it was important for me as a filmmaker because I felt like the second film, because there was no Xander Cage and because Ice Cube was there carrying it, we wanted to find a way to be inclusive to say, like, Darius Stone is badass and we want to pay respect to Darius Stone, and so we found a way to integrate Darius into this where he comes in at a really, really opportune time to save Xander and his team.
What's up?
Thanks for the assist.
X takes care of its own.
And at the same time, it was really important to have a scene between Xander and Darius and how perhaps in the future that in the next XXX, you can maybe see a place where same movie.
X takes care of its own. That's why I figured you'd come through.
To get a chance to work with the legendary Xander Cage, where do I sign up?
After we filmed, my producing partner, Joe Roth, came up to me and it's something so iconic for film that we're so excited that we have this in our movie. Because it's a moment that is bigger than just the plot of our movie.
I wouldn't have it any other way.
There's a lot of surprises for the characters and for the audience that are revealed, and even is gone the first 10 minutes of the movie, and then bam, he's back.
Wow, that's an impressive trick. What? Think you're the only one knows how to play dead?
We thought if we could introduce Gibbons, have Gibbons get us back into the whole world of what XXX is and how the updated XXX, you know, sort of universe is working, and then ultimately, by the time you
even if you don't know him as a character as Augustus Gibbons, like, you know Samuel L. Jackson, and you love him and you adore him, so let's blow him up. And kind of say, like, okay, we're throwing out all the rules, but at the same time kind of give you that, like, personal connection and the stakes of the worlds.
Speed.
We just thought that's that first scene when he's recruiting Neymar.
What's the matter? You on a diet? You ain't hungry? Come on, eat up.
You're getting people to relax, getting them to have fun, getting them settled in, and right when they think they've kind of settled in and you've got your popcorn and you're settled, you kind of get this little jolt and a shock, and then you realize, like, wait a minute, I'm not quite sure where this movie's going, which is kind of fun.
At the end of the day, comes down to the same question I've been asking my wife every Friday night for the last 20 years. Do you want some of this? Or are you just gonna...
If there's any kind of message in this movie, it's about individualism, and you can still be a unique individual, but at the same time, you can still be a patriot. You don't have to conform to what society says you need to be. Collectively, if we bring all these individuals together, we are so powerful, and that's to me what this XXX team is.